As the year ends, we tend to reflect and set new goals, hoping a new calendar will change us. But psychology shows our behavior doesn't shift just because time passes. What truly shapes how we act is our daily environment, our routines, emotional patterns, and the spaces around us. So if there are things you've wanted to start but haven't, it isn't a discipline problem. Your current setup is still reinforcing old habits. We feel regret more strongly at year's end because the world slows down, and we can finally sense the gap between how we're living and how we want to live. That desire to reset was always there, just buried under everyday noise. What's needed now isn't bigger goals, but a small shift in direction. Lasting change comes from consistent, manageable adjustments, not sudden motivation. The last month of 2025 isn't an ending, it's a chance to realign. You don't have to start over. Just turn slightly toward the life you want. The door is already open. Design your space, design your mind. Behavior change doesn't start with willpower, it starts with your environment. If starting feels difficult, it's not that you lack motivation, it's that your surroundings are adding friction before you begin. When your desk is cluttered or filled with unfinished tasks, your brain must filter that visual noise. This drains focus before the real work even starts. Psychologists call this cognitive load. Your mental energy is being spent getting ready rather than doing. In contrast, focus often feels easier in a quiet cafe or library. These spaces aren't special, they simply contain fewer distractions. The less your brain has to manage, the more it can direct toward your task. So organizing your space isn't about being tidy. It's about making the beginning effortless. Try this. Keep only what you need for your current task on your desk. Move everything else out of sight. Use one consistent location for focused work. Repeating the same behavior in the same place builds contextual memory. When I sit here, I work. Over time, starting becomes automatic. You don't need more discipline. You just need a space that helps you begin. Change starts by lowering the effort of the first step, not by pushing yourself harder. Stop fighting yourself. Most people don't fail because their goals are too big. They struggle because their attention keeps getting interrupted. The issue isn't effort. It's the small habits of distraction. Checking your phone, glancing at one notification, switching tabs for a second. Even brief interruptions matter. Research shows it can take around 23 minutes to return to deep focus after being distracted. So your time isn't being lost, your focus is. These mini distractions are hard to avoid, not due to weak discipline, but because they deliver instant dopamine quick reward with almost no effort. The brain naturally chooses the easiest, fastest payoff. That's not laziness, that's energy efficiency. So the answer isn't to force yourself to try harder. It's to change what's easiest to do. Make distraction inconvenient. Make focus easier. Try keeping your phone out of reach or in another room. Burying social apps in deep folders instead of your home screen. Clearing your workspace of unrelated items. These aren't willpower tricks. They raise the activation cost of distraction. If checking your phone requires more effort, you'll do it less automatically. When interruptions decrease, focus stops feeling like a battle. Consistency becomes the default. You don't need more discipline, you need fewer invisible leaks in your attention. Sustainability over intensity. People don't stick with habits that feel like punishment. Anything that constantly requires force will eventually be abandoned. Sustainable change comes from habits that feel simple, light, and easy to return to. In neuroscience, this is related to the comfort loop. The brain repeats behaviors that are familiar and low effort. So habits don't last because they're intense, they last because they're easy to come back to. You don't need to start with an hour at the gym, begin with a 10-minute walk. You don't need to read 50 pages, read 3 before bed. You don't need to journal a full page, write one honest sentence. The question isn't, how much can I do today? It's, would I willingly do this again tomorrow? Habits grow through returning, not through doing a lot once. Small, repeatable actions reshape your identity over time. This is why the first 5 minutes of your morning matter. Not for productivity, but for ownership of your day. Drink water. Breathe. Sit in your chosen spot. No performance, just a signal. I start my day on my terms. Once that rhythm exists, motivation becomes less important. Your routine begins to carry you. Real consistency doesn't feel like discipline. It feels like, I want to be here again. Protect your energy. Most people don't lack discipline, they lack available mental energy. What drains us isn't just work, but the constant shifting of attention and emotional effort throughout the day. We reply to messages, manage expectations, swallow reactions, navigate relationships, and handle small problems. Alone, these seem small. Together, they keep the brain in a reactive state, unable to settle. This is why time off often doesn't help. You may stop working, but if you're still scrolling, watching, or reacting, your mind never actually rests. Real recovery isn't about doing nothing, it's about lowering stimulation so the nervous system can reset. Simple ways to restore energy: take a 10-minute walk without your phone. Drink something warm slowly, without multitasking. Before bed, write one sentence about how you feel. These aren't self-improvement tasks, they're signals that say, you can relax now. When energy returns, focus returns. When focus returns, action feels lighter, consistency becomes natural, not forced. Sustainable progress isn't created by pushing harder. It comes from not letting yourself become depleted in the first place. You don't need more willpower. You need a way to return to yourself repeatedly. Dopamine reset. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. It's the signal that motivates you to act. Short-form videos, social media, and constant notifications deliver instant reward with almost zero effort, teaching your brain to expect quick payoff. Meanwhile, deeper activities like reading, exercise, learning, and creating offer delayed reward. They require focus before the satisfaction appears. Since the brain prefers efficiency, it naturally chooses the quicker option. So you haven't lost motivation, your reward system has been trained to chase immediacy. Restoring your desire for depth doesn't require extreme detox. It simply requires lowering stimulation. Keep your phone out of reach. Move social apps off your home screen. When resting, avoid scrolling. Choose low stimulation breaks, like walking, stretching, making tea, or slow breathing. These shifts reduce rapid dopamine spikes and give your brain space to reset. Then, spend just 20 minutes a day doing one task without interruptions. The duration doesn't matter, the pattern does. Effort reward. Once your brain remembers the calmer satisfaction that comes from deep focus, work stops feeling heavy and starts feeling grounding. You don't need more motivation, you just need to retrain your brain to enjoy depth again. Identity first, goals second. Lasting change doesn't start with goals, it starts with identity. Saying, I want to wake up early, focuses on behavior. Saying, I'm someone who values mornings, defines who you are. And humans naturally act in ways that match their identity. When identity shifts, behavior follows with far less effort. So the question isn't, what do I need to do? But, who am I becoming? Not, I need to exercise. I am someone who takes care of my body. I need to focus more. I am someone who works with intention. I need to improve. My life is worth showing up for. Change isn't about becoming better. It's about returning to a version of yourself you can respect. Identity is built through small, repeatable signals. Tidying your desk for 3 minutes, reading 3 pages before bed, noticing your emotions for 1 minute. These aren't small tasks, they're identity confirmations. Each one tells your brain, this is who I am. When identity and actions align, discipline is no longer needed. Consistency stops feeling like effort and starts feeling natural. The real work isn't pushing harder. It's living in a way that matches who you choose to be. When identity leads, behavior follows. We often treat the new year as a chance to start over. But real growth isn't about wiping everything clean, it's about continuing the direction you've already begun. The small changes you made, adjusting your space, reducing distractions, setting rhythm, protecting your energy, reshaping your reward system, and aligning your identity are not preparation, they are the progress. Progress won't look perfect. Some days feel steady, others slow, but direction matters more than speed. So instead of asking, am I ready? Ask, Am I willing to continue? Change happens through repetition, not reinvention. As your rhythm settles, effort eases. You won't be pushing life forward, life will begin to carry you. 2026 won't reveal a new you. It will reveal a more aligned, steady version of you. You're not starting over. You're continuing, and you're already on the path. Keep going.